Counting calories and tracking macros are an extremely effective tool. So I'm not going to bash them at all in this presentation. In fact, I coach people through tracking calories and macros, and I think they're an excellent tool for losing weight, building muscle, maintaining whatever it is you want to do. Tracking is an excellent tool to do just that. But for some people, they don't want to track. They don't want to track their macros. They don't want to be tied up on their phone, or they might have some fatigue from doing it for a long period of time, or they might just be maintaining and they don't necessarily want to, or whatever their reason may be, they do not want to track macros, and that is fine. I don't really track macros myself, except for certain periods of time when I'm trying to do or hit a specific goal. So that's what this presentation is going to be all about. So if you're not tracking macros, what are the options? What are the options? So there's lots of different things you can do. You can follow certain diets, keto, paleo. You could try fasting. There's lots of different things you can do. They generally tend to be restrictive in one way or another, which is generally how you lose weight, by restricting the amount of food you're eating. But a lot of the diets tend to be restrictive in terms of what types of foods or food groups you can and cannot have, which for a lot of people is not something that is attractive. A lot of people have performance goals in which fasting is not necessarily the best option. I think fasting can be a great option for some people. Some people really enjoy it and get great results from it. But I've found that for people doing weight loss, I'd prefer them to be having breakfast for a number of reasons. So what actually is going to work? And that's what we're going to go over in this presentation. What actually works? The strong dad diet. That's not a diet. That's what works. So really, really simple. I'm going to give you the answer at the beginning of the video, which doesn't usually happen. We want to keep people in suspense, waiting for the big reveal at the end. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to eat balanced meals, and you're going to utilize portion control for losing or gaining weight. So what does a balanced meal look like? Kind of looks like this picture right here. So you're going to have protein, you're going to have carbs, you're going to have fats, and you're going to have veggies and or fruits in each meal. And then you're going to use portion control for if you want to lose or gain weight. Pretty simple. What does that look like? So every meal has to be extremely photogenic, very colorful and vibrant. No, I'm just kidding. So it's going to look like you're going to have breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. And it doesn't have to be in that order. You could go breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, snack. But generally, we want to be having 5 meals throughout the day, or 3 main meals, sorry, and then 2 snacks throughout the day. All your main meals are going to be balanced. So you're going to have proteins, fats, carbs, and fruits and or vegetables. And then our snacks are going to be prioritizing protein. So we're going to be trying to get as much protein as we can while keeping the calories relatively low. So that's what it looks like. Each meal is going to look like this. I got this from Precision Nutrition. They're a great resource for all things related to nutrition. So check them out. So this is what your anytime meal is going to look like. This is what your breakfast, lunch, and dinner are hopefully going to look like following this style of eating. So you're going to have half your plate protein. So as you can see here, red meat, chicken, fish, eggs, or any vegetarian source. And then the other half, we're going to try and pack that with veggies and fruits, including a wide variety of vegetables and some fruits, right? And then we're also going to have our starches, including potatoes, pasta, rice, or bread. And what are we drinking? So we're trying not to, if we're trying to lose weight, which is what the context of this presentation is going to be kind of put under, we're not going to be drinking our calories. So we're going to have water or tea or black coffee or any type of 0-calorie beverage. That's what we want our meals to look like on our plate, right? Our snack options, there's so many different snack options. Some are going to be a little bit lower calorie with higher protein. Some are going to be high protein with some more calories in there. Beef jerky, protein powders, protein bars, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whatever you like to have for a snack in terms of things that are high in protein is what we're going to be aiming for. So all these are good options. There's also a million other options that you can find, but in terms of our snack options, we want things that are high in protein. So we're prioritizing protein, right? And then in terms of a sample day of eating, this is what we're going to be looking at. So I broke everything down into breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 snacks, and then protein, carbs. Proteins and fats kind of go together in some of these, and then our veggies and fruits. So this is kind of what I would do actually for my week. Like if I'm trying to get into this style of eating, I don't want to be tracking. I need to be planning, right? So you need to be planning out your meals in advance, even if it's just writing it down on a Sunday or the day before, just so you have these supplies in your house in terms of the food you have in your house or at work or wherever it may be. You need to be planning these things out and you need to be prepared. So what we could look at for a breakfast would be for our protein and fats, eggs. Our carbs would be toast, and we could add some peanut butter to that for some extra fats. And then our fruit would be an apple, or you could have salad, throw salad in there. Really simple. Our snack could be a protein shake with a banana or just a protein shake. Our lunch could be a turkey sandwich with lettuce and tomato. And we could have a salad on the side, or you could have fruit on the side. We're just trying to, once again, keep things balanced. So we have our protein, we have our carbs, and we have vegetables and fruits. Our next snack could be Greek yogurt with honey and berries. Once again, our protein would be the Greek yogurt. There's some fat in there. If you get the ones with fat in them, you can get 0% Greek yogurt. Our carb is going to be the honey, and then we have berries as our fruit/vegetable. And then for dinner, salmon, rice, frozen veggies. Super simple. Our protein/fat would be the salmon. Our carb would be the rice. And of course, our vegetables would be the frozen vegetables. So this is a really simple way to break down your day of eating. And like I said, it does require a little bit of planning, a little bit of foresight, so you have these foods ready. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. But what I find with this style of eating is you don't need to do a ton of preparation. Usually the only preparation you would need to do, in my experience, would be preparing your proteins in advance. Like you don't need to prepare deli meats. You don't need to really prepare a protein shake or Greek yogurt. Like those things take 20 seconds. Well, like 2 minutes to prepare. You just get some Greek yogurt, put some honey on it, throw some berries in, you're good to go. Protein shake. Obviously you can make that in 30 seconds. So these things don't take a ton of time to prepare in the moment, but you just need the foods in your house. So that is one thing I would suggest, is planning this out the week before and having the supplies on hand so you're ready to go. You can pack them for lunch. You can have them ready to go at home. Like you just need to have the food available. And I'd say that's the biggest thing that people miss out on, is they don't have protein sources available, or they don't have foods available to them at home that are healthy and can make up a balanced meal. So pretty simple. And you can mix and match. You can do really whatever you want in terms of breaking this down, in terms of where you get your protein sources from, what kind of vegetables you like, what kind of fruits you like. Very simple. The dial method is something that I've talked about in previous videos in relation to training, but really you can just imagine that you have a dial with 3 different locations on it. 1 would be great, 2 is going to be good, and 3 would be that'll do, right? And what that looks like in the context of your meals is really simple. So my great breakfast would be eggs, avocado, oatmeal, berries, peanut butter. So just a really great breakfast, right? That's my number 1 breakfast. If I don't, and I would have that breakfast if I have a ton of time, I'm up way before the kids, or we have like a more relaxed morning, that is what I would have for breakfast. If I don't have as much time, I'm a little bit more rushed, I'm gonna have my number 2 breakfast, which would be eggs, toast, and an apple. And if I really have 0 time, I would want to have just a protein shake with peanut butter and banana. Really simple. You could even just have like a pre-made protein shake, like I put a picture of here, with a banana on the side, and you're good to go. So the idea with this dial method is that you're never in a position where you're just like, I'm not having anything for breakfast, or I'm just having like a muffin and that's it. You always have options. And the number 3 option, the easiest option, is still going to move you forward and help you make progress towards your goals. That is the idea with the dial method, is that you're never getting a 0. You're always getting a 1 at least. Well, in this case, a 3. I kind of did them backwards, but you get the point. We're always having a breakfast or a meal. Like, you can apply this to every single meal throughout the day that is allowing us to make progress. Some are better than others, but they all help us move forward. How much should you be eating? So this one is, it can be tricky for people, but once you kind of get portion control down, it can be a very powerful tool. And you can use the hand method. So this is really simple. And the reason we like to use the hand method is that hands are portable. They're consistent size. They scale with the individual. So small people have smaller hands, big people have bigger hands, and smaller people need smaller portions, bigger people need bigger portions, et cetera, et cetera. And it saves time. You don't have to weigh anything, even though weighing things doesn't really take a lot of time. That's why the hand method is great. And this is how it works. A portion of protein is going to equal one of your palms, right? A portion of vegetables is going to be one fist. A portion of carbs is a cupped hand, and your portions of fat should be around one thumb. Pretty simple. Portion of protein, palm. Portion of vegetables, fist. Portion of carbs, cupped hands. And that's how you're plating your meals, right? And where I would start would be, number one, you need to be weighing yourself on a daily basis, or every other day at the very least, just so you can see the way your weight is trending. And I would start with 2 portions of each for every meal. So that would be 2 palms of protein, 2 fists of vegetables, which equates to 2 cups, roughly 2 cupped handfuls of carbs, which equates to roughly 1 cup, and 2 thumbs of fat. So pretty simple, 2, 2, 2, 2. If you do that as your starting point and track your weight, you can see if you're maintaining, losing, or gaining. And if your goal is to lose weight and you start kind of constructing each meal like this and you're losing weight, just stay the course until you plateau. And then there's a few things that you can do to continue your weight loss, or if you want to gain weight, you can change some things as well. So really simply, if you want to lose more weight and you are not losing weight following this method, you would simply remove 1 cupped handful of carbs and or 1 thumb of fat from each meal. So if I'm having eggs, 2 pieces of toast for breakfast with peanut butter, I would start by removing just a piece of toast for breakfast. Or if I'm having for dinner, salmon, 2 cupped handfuls of rice, and a salad for dinner, I would start by removing 1 cupped handful of rice. Pretty simple. And you want to be doing this to 2 to 3 meals a day. So I could do it for my breakfast and my dinner, or I could do it for my breakfast and my snack. Like if I'm having a protein shake and a banana, I could just cut the banana out and take out that piece of toast. You can do whatever you want, but really, if you're noticing that you're hitting that plateau, then you're going to simply remove, over the course of a day, 2 cupped handfuls of carbs or 2 thumbs of fat. Pretty simple. If you are needing more food, like you are hungry all the time, you are not getting the strength or muscle gains that you would like, then you need to add more food. And the way we do that is by adding a cupped handful of carbs and or 1 thumb of fat to around 2 or 3 meals in the day. So for breakfast, if you're having eggs, 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter, and you're wanting to gain weight and you're not gaining weight, you could just add a bowl of oatmeal. Or for lunch, you could add an extra serving of rice or potatoes or whatever it may be. We're just adding a cupped handful of carbs to 2 or 3 meals throughout the day, and or a thumb of fat per meal for those 2 or 3 meals. So that's kind of how you play around with portion sizes based on your goals. But what this is incumbent on is you tracking your weight. You need to be tracking your weight at the bare minimum if you want to be playing around with this method. Or if you don't want to track weight, then you're going to have to be taking progress pictures, or you're going to have to be doing measurements or something just so you can track. Or you don't have to track at all. You can just do this and wing it and see what happens. You'll probably, I would imagine you would lose weight if you're not tracking anything whatsoever. But ideally, tracking your weight on a daily basis so you can make these adjustments. Some frequently asked questions about this. Are we measuring based on cooked or uncooked foods? So are we You know what I mean. So this is for plating purposes. So it would be cooked foods. So if you're using rice, it would be cooked rice or cooked chicken or whatever it may be. I wouldn't recommend putting your hand into a hot pot of rice, but you can kind of eyeball it and get a good idea from just eyeballing it. What about mixed foods like chili or a stew or something like that? Guesstimate. Number one, you're just going to kind of guesstimate. And then what I would do is add some protein on the side if possible, or add vegetables on the side as well. So sometimes what I would notice in things like chili is the protein content can be a little bit low based on how people make it. So it's always good to add a little protein on the side, which could even just be having an extra protein shake. And I'd also say that it's great to add some more vegetables on the side just so you're getting more fiber. You're getting more of those micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, all those things you need to look, feel, and perform your best. What about cookies, cakes, etc.? So I would say like enjoy a cookie every now and then. Everyone likes a cookie and don't worry too much about it. But the way you would portion those out would be like one cookie would be kind of a cupped handful of carbs, I would say. And you can kind of use that for chips too. Like a cupped handful of chips would be one portion of carbs, right? So you can swap things out. So like for your lunch, you could have a cookie with that or two cookies, and then that would be your carbs for the meal. Obviously, we want to be getting more complex carbs in, but that's how you could swap things out. And I would say for one meal a day, if you're having a cookie and you're still losing weight, continue to have a cookie. It's all right. It's not going to kill you. What about alcohol? So this one is pretty simple. If you're having a light beer or a glass of wine or straight alcohol, then one cupped handful is going to be equal to a light beer, let's say. If you're having mixed drinks or like higher alcohol content beers or things of that nature, then you're going to go two cupped handfuls of carbs. So like an easy swap would be for dinner, instead of having two cupped handfuls of rice, you could have a cupped handful of rice and a light beer, and you're good to go for your portion sizes. So that is, oh no, that is pretty much it for this presentation. I hope that helped you guys get an understanding of how to construct your meals, how to construct a balanced meal. And what I would say is if you can get like 5 days of the week where you're really consistent with this, and the other 2 days are not the best, but they're not terrible, then you're probably going to make some good progress. But what you need to be doing, like I said, is tracking your weight on a daily basis so you can start playing around with the portion sizes. If you guys do have any questions or concerns or comments or anything like that, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. But other than that, that is how you are going to lose weight or gain weight or maintain without tracking your calories and your macros.